Until I was asked to speak at this event tonight, I thought of entrepreneurs, just like Angus said, as someone that starts a business or a company to offer a product or a service and at the same time make money, just produce a profit for them or their investors. But then I realized that entrepreneurship could have a larger scope. And an entrepreneur could be someone that brings an idea into action, brings people together, pull resources up, and make things happen. So the question was, am I an entrepreneur? Are you an entrepreneur? One thing I know is that I'm a scientist. And as a scientist, I am passionate about one of the subjects is honeybees and the health of honeybees. And I have never really been into insects, but honeybees are amazing creatures. And if you look at that, honeybees actually change the food supply. Imagine a world without bees, the supermarket would look quite different. Bee pollination is important for the production of many of the fruits and vegetables that we eat. But they're also important for our economy. Just in BC, bee pollination contributes over $250 million to our economy. And in Alberta, the pollination of canola oil, for the canola for oil and for seed production, is over $1 billion. But bees are in trouble. And beekeepers are losing around a third of their stock annually. And the problem is very complex. One of our world bee experts, Dr. Jeff Pettis, explained it best. He talks about 3 Ps: poor nutrition, pesticides, and pathogens. The bees need pollen as a source of protein, and they need a variety of it. But that's very difficult when we plant field after field with just one crop. So now the good news is there are efforts to increase the number of flowers around the crops to give variety of bees. And bees, just like us, have mites, viruses, bacteria, fungi that makes them sick. But the worst one is the varroa mite. It's like Dracula, sticks on the bee, just sucks their hemolymph, which is like our blood, and weakens the bees and transmits viruses. And we at UBC, we had been working on pathogens on a project that just completed. But the important thing is that it seems that it's not just one aspect, but it's the combination and the interaction of these factors that's really problematic. So last summer, we thought of an idea to start to look at this interaction. And we did what any scientist does. We turned a little bit to entrepreneurs, and we looked for money. We wrote a proposal, and we were happy to learn that of all the proposals, ours was the only one funded. The only problem was that the only money we have, and that award was $5,000. $5,000 don't do very much. So we knew that I needed some help. And the best way to look for help was in my own network. I thought that perhaps there was great people around me that was also interested in this idea. And I started to ask for help. And be careful what you wish for, because it was like Christmas in July. We got supplies and things for everywhere. We got colonies from Alberta, the food to treat and feed the bees from Maryland. From Langley, we got supplies, and the list went on and on. At UBC, we got space to work and space to keep the samples on. The whole network was showing up, and the pieces of the puzzle were coming together. And so it's becoming a reality. But then we needed one more thing. I wanted to do this experiment with high-quality queens. And I happen to know one of the best bee breeders in the country, and it's Liz Huxter. And so I phoned Liz, and to my amazement, she was hooked immediately, and she donated the queens and even offered to introduce them in the colonies. The only problem was that Liz lives in Grand Forks. Grand Forks is 500 kilometers to UBC. So 12 colonies with 50,000 bees in each colony. That's around 500,000 bees to transform from there to here. It's not an easy task. It's not something that I would like to do. Imagine 500,000 upset bees around? No way. So one thing I learned is that when someone really cares about something, goes all the way. So Liz volunteered with her husband. Actually, she volunteered him. And they drove through the night all the way from one side to another, avoiding anything that would disturb the bees, bump, pop holes, very carefully. And one of my favorite moments was in the morning. It was 4 in the morning. They were arriving. I was with my son, Chris. We had to wake up at 3. And in the summer, my son wakes up at 3. No, he goes to sleep at 3. We were there and just waiting for Liz to come. And when we saw her coming with all the colonies, and they were safe and sound, we knew that was the beginning. And then we can turn into be scientists again, and experiment that really brought this adventure together. And perhaps this also gave it the possibility of bringing up the entrepreneur in me. So in this project, we had very little money. We had an idea, but very little money. We put it together and make it happen. We were not after a pot of gold, but at the end, we knew that this project and others would help the bees stay healthy and the beekeepers have a more profitable business. So at the end, there was a treasure to be found. So I invite you that if you really have something that you really think is worth doing, look around and explore the power of your network, the power of the people around you, and see whether they buy it too. And they might be ready to help you make things happen.